Open a meeting for Monday, August 21st at 5:35. Entertain a motion to accept the agenda as may be amended.
So move. I've got...
Anything we need to move?
Yeah. So, number 9, appoint a town manager.
Yeah.
We had a special meeting on July 12th.
You announced, you didn't actually...
No. We
Made an offer.
We had a meeting on July 11th, and then we had a special meeting on July 12th for Michael to sign. I think he actually might have came here and signed, or...
Yeah, but just, the question was, do you need to have do you actually formally appoint it?
We did that day. It was in the newspaper, too, that we
Okay.
did. What I do realize is that we don't have the minutes on the website of that meeting for July 12th or July 13th.
Okay.
We had a meeting on Monday, July whatever, when we said we were going to make that movement or whatever, but then we had a special meeting on that Tuesday. I had to look it up in the Mountain Times to find out what, and it was like we appointed Michael as the town manager, and he signed the contract at that time.
Okay.
And then I think I got the next one, so we're going to remove number 9. The Green Mountain National Golf Course, the FY23 end-of-year report, we approved in the last minutes, because it's in the meeting minutes, the FY23. We were just looking for them to come in and
Right.
give us a report of what the numbers
What
were.
the numbers were, yeah. But the 9, yeah, you did...
We approved.
You approved the end-of-year pending audit.
No, we didn't.
Well, I mean, we said it was because it was pre-audit, is what it was.
No. We're going
I didn't know there was any
into
discussion about that. We just kind of said.
capital review budget, so maybe it was the one before.
I remember that too.
Golf financials, number 13 on July 24th. Budgeted comparative report. Select Board have made a motion to approve the golf financials budget comparative report for FY23 year end. It was unanimously approved. So it was done.
Right.
I mean, we don't really need them to come in now. I mean, they're not here anyway.
He's at the course until 6, and we'll be home till 7.
So we have it, if we want to have them come in and do a presentation one day, but for today, let's just remove that, because it's already approved, but it would be nice to get them to come in here and, you know.
Yeah, and I spoke to David. He said he usually gives a calendar year-end report, but, you know, that was just his history of it.
To be honest, they really haven't been in, so.
No, and their calendar year, well, you could say calendar year end, their season ends at the end of October, and budget has to be in before the end of the calendar year.
So I'm just gonna, my motion is to remove those 2 items and move forward.
Oh, and just a reminder, VLCT reached out to us about using golf carts. I don't know if we needed to add that under the golf course.
About using golf carts.
Yeah, or the, about the...
Oh, the golf course.
Casino
We'll
night.
bring that up underneath managers report or whatever.
Okay.
And then, did you want to add, there was some email that went around about something for, was there something that you just mentioned earlier today that might have to be brought up right before you left, going back to town hall?
That's on there, the bond anticipation.
Yeah, I've got everything
Okay.
for the bond
All
prepared.
right, so,
Great.
so,
Chris, you have anything you need to do?
Nope. Nothing at all.
Okay. All in favor of the agenda as amended, please say aye.
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 And we'll start with June 12th minutes.
So June 12th, all of us were here. Make a motion to approve the minutes of June 12th.
I didn't have anything in
We
there.
don't have anything in this
Second.
here.
All in favor of approving June 12th minutes, please say aye.
Aye. And
24 is next.
June 24th,
I have July 24th.
I'm sorry, July
Yeah.
24th.
Okay.
I think there was one thing in here, it's just where it talked about, maybe I'm wrong on this one here, but one of them is just a spelling, and I'll just have it changed. It said KSOR instead of KSAR. I'm not sure which one it is. It said KSOR or whatever. So we'll just have Megan change that or whatever, but other than that, I'm good with it.
All in favor of accepting July 24th with one slight up?
Aye.
Please say aye.
Motion to approve August 1st. It was
That's you
just
guys.
Chris and I.
Yep.
There was executive session, there was no action taken, so
Yep.
aye.
Second.
Then we got August 7th, which was just us again, and it was going in with VHB and stuff on the contracts that we're working on. No action taken, a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Aye. Aye.
That's it.
Any select board concerns?
At this point right now, I think we got one right here.
No, not at this time.
Okay. Between the folks that are here and those that are zoomed in, is there something that you would like to bring up that is not already on the agenda? Did you have something?
I'm not sure if it's on the agenda or not. I'm here solely for the drainage thing on Anthony Way. We brought up, Andrew and I brought up at the other meeting.
That was for the 28th meeting, that's next Monday.
That's next Monday? Fantastic, see you Monday.
You don't want to stick
Right
around?
here.
Come on, stick around.
You don't want to just sit and listen to 2 hours?
That's okay. So, we'll see you
Thank
then
you.
on Monday.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
We're hoping
Are
that
you
the
guys
town...
having trouble with the camera? All I see is a black screen.
Yeah, we are. It's not signed in, so you'll just
Okay.
have to listen to our voices,
And
Jan.
it's
Okay.
not moving either. So
Well, that was the
something's
thing that
going
was
on.
beeping, so,
Yeah,
okay. But what he's talking about, the gentleman that just left,
Yep.
I think that's something that you and the road foreman and Chet should go to take a look at before of. It's something to do with ditches or whatever.
It was, yeah, we've actually, Nicole has already visited it, and she's getting Josh from the state to come out and
the
look and see
grading
if
on the
there's
side
any
of
issues.
Anthony Way. and-
So then we should either tell him if we're going to postpone the 28th because Josh
They
doesn't have time to
mentioned-
look at it.
Well, I expect,
Rains.
we're expecting him to be here. I think that's scheduled
kind
next
of
week.
Change.
I would like to
How it's going right
have
at
it so that
someone's
we
house.
have everything
They
before
wanna-
in place to us instead of just making a decision on the fly.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
we will. I mean, once I have it. and
Okay,
if
yeah,
it's
I
not-
just,
I
are they
mean,
going to have enough time? That's what.
well, we've been talking about it for 2 weeks. I'm hoping that he's
Okay.
gonna make it, and if he doesn't,
no, we
then
should
we'll send-
postpone.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
put,
just to let
we'll
him
put a
know.
note out there.
Yeah,
Okay.
cool.
We've got his contact information?
We
just
have
in case?
Andrew's.
Okay.
And Andrew is the other property owner that they're all working together, so if we told Andrew we haven't heard back from the state yet, we can tell him that.
Got it.
Okay. Are you liquor control tonight?
I am.
All right,
Wow.
thank you. We've got lots of colors here on this sheet.
I know.
Do.
Put that in the middle so you can
Shall I
see.
start?
Yes, you're up.
Okay. So I wanted to start with the green, the Killington restaurants. It's a festival permit for the Killington Brew Fest, September 30th. I just wanted you to be aware of it, okay?
It's still held at Pico?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. To the top, SNL Entertainment, Inc., doing business as Moguls. It's an outside consumption, first class and third class.
It's just a renewal, Peggy.
It's a renewal,
He
yes.
has everything in place.
Yes.
Make a motion for the town clerk's office to move forward with an outside consumption, first class, third class for SNL Entertainment.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, next we have the Gray Bonnet Inn. They're, just for their third class. Their third class expired. Their first and their outside consumption expire in February. So they're just renewing their third class,
And they're all up to date on everything?
as far as I know.
They're-
All right, so I'll make a motion to move forward with the town clerk's office for a third-class restaurant bar license for Gray Bonnet Inn LLC.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
And we're,
Next, we have CL Hospitality Corporation. doing business as Cascades Lodge, applying, it's a renewal, I don't know why it's not checked off. It's a first and third class.
Okay, and everything's up to date with her?
Yep.
Motion to let the town's clerk office move forward with a first and third for CL Hospitality, otherwise known as Cascade Lodge.
All in favor? Aye.
Same.
Okay, so next we have HVM Killington LLC. It's Killington Mountain Lodge. It's a new managing company, and that's why Haley is attending.
Okay.
So it's their first, second, third, and outside consumption. And what I looked at, it all looks the same as last year. It's a new managing company.
So Haley, Jim Half.
Hi.
So, have you ever had a license in, or has this company ever had a license in Vermont? And how does this work again? I mean, I thought normally they apply for the state and then it comes as a new place, right? How does this work?
In the winter.
We were told that we had to, yes, apply through the Vermont portal, that it would go to the town first and then to the state. I am not positive if this entity itself holds any other licenses in Vermont. That is something that I can definitely look into and provide a schedule to you guys. Everything is staying the same in terms of the lodge itself and what they are wanting to license as far as the outside consumption goes. They're just wanting to, hold the licenses under the new applicant entity and not the outgoing licensee.
Okay.
So NCR is no longer managing the property.
Can
They have a second-class license for the first and
They have a
third.
second class because they have a gift shop.
What is this, oh, so they're selling it
So
to
you're
take out?
selling it to go.
Yes, out of the gift shop. So yes, they've got first, second, third, and outside.
So what they're selling out of the gift shop cannot be consumed on premises.
Well, it can't be consumed in the area that is licensed.
And what is the area licensed?
I thought that the area license was their bar, and only their bar and outside.
The outside.
And that the hotel rooms
Or not.
can go by and then go by and then
Could
take
be.
it to their room.
And take it to the room, yes.
But they cannot take that into the bar.
No,
Or
And the
outside.
bar can't take the drinks to
They're
the
ju-
room.
to the room,
Right. That's what you're underneath the impression, right, Haley?
correct.
Okay. Can you just give me a refresher, where is the outside consumption area?
Yes, give me two. So it's the outdoor patio and hot tub area.
Okay, I've never been in the hot tub area, so
Shocker.
Gotcha.
It's right outside the 8th hole on the golf course.
I've never been on that
He's
side
never on the
either.
hole either. He
never
hits it on the green.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to go near the
I
hole.
don't
The
need
back
to
of the
go,
hotel
I don't
is
need
the
to go
8th
through the
is the 8th
fairway.
green.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to move forward with HVM Killington LLC for the town clerk's office and pending, I mean, it's up to the liquor
State.
authority, the state at that point. So if you can, we'll give you a motion to move forward.
Okay.
Yeah. All in
Thank you.
favor?
And that's for a first, a third, an outside, and a second.
Right.
Yes.
All in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
And one more.
Okay, one more. Cedar Tree Hospitality LLC, which doing business as Snowed Inn. It's a renewal for their first class.
Make a motion to move forward with Cedar Tree Hospitality LLC, otherwise known as Snowed In, for a first class.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So just while we're on it, like, say, all these folks, whatever, because this new portal, Chris, and it just comes back to us, and you have to do it, and that's why you have to
It's
abstain.
terrible.
Yeah, but it's up to the state to make sure that everybody has their staff trained and everything, and they're up to date.
It's up
and
to the
whatever.
licensee to make sure their staff is trained. It is up to, on the application, and I believe it's still on the town side of it too, that the license, someone, of the licensee, either a partner or a director, has completed a course as well.
Right, okay.
I saw in the application.
Okay, so maybe in the future, Peggy, if we can just have that the owner has, what Chris just mentioned.
But the owner has what?
That the owner has taken a DLC certified course.
We can't see the stuff in the portal on our end.
I couldn't agree with you more. I went through it, and I've tried to make corrections. It's
Okay.
awful. We should be able to we used to be able to have a map of where it was licensed and everything else, and their plan to go is...
Yeah, so they've gone to this portal, but normally we would see that that at least the owner or the manager had gone through the class. So when they come in front of you for this thing, just if you can then say, please provide us with documentation showing that the owner or the manager has gone through the DLC.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things that we speak of outdoor consumption, okay? All these on here have no limits of hours. Yet, so these here technically are open to legal hours.
Okay.
Okay. Originally, when we did it way back, and my permits reflected, my permits do not go till last call.
Okay.
So as not to affect neighbors or things like that.
Okay.
And it just, it's nothing to town-wide, it's the state created this headache for us.
Yeah.
We used to have a nice application that showed everything, it doesn't.
But at least like what we have said, and the town has always said, what is it? Outside consumption permits in the town of Killington are only good until
Don't know.
it's 10 o'clock.
We
No,
always said 10.
no, mine are good mine at the Pickleboro is good to 2 AM. Because they wanted people to be able to go outside to the smoking area, they didn't want to have to leave their drink and have someone put something in it. So it's just, for safety purposes. But we're not inducing alcohol out there either. If you can stay out there at that hour in the winter, God bless you anyway, but it's just tough for you. And the information we asked for, it's not on there.
Right.
I couldn't agree more.
Because I remember us always approving for outside consumption permits, and it keeps on, we're renewing, and there have been where we say till 10 or 11 o'clock
Yep.
at night.
Yep.
So we're only renewing what it was, just because the state started this portal. I think I do think that Jack's or whatever is until 11 o'clock at night.
No, it's till 12 o'clock on the front deck.
Okay.
However, there's a piece that has a second outside consumption permit on the front deck, which allows us to go till legal hours. Not that we even stay open that late.
Right, yeah.
But the point is, it's just
Yeah.
it'd be nicer if they had a better situation than they do.
Well,
And
then
we wanted to make it fair at one point, we put all licenses.
Yeah, and I think it's, when we start doing let's have a meeting about outside consumption permits one day, that we have it straight across going into the next year or whatever, that there is a time limit. Because then we start getting into, someone may have till 2 o'clock in the morning, and then someone has their windows open in the summertime, and then it's close by, and it's just whatever. So, but we're good for today, right, Peggy?
I'm sorry.
We're good for today.
We are good, thank you.
Next.
Appoint a 911
I'm
coordinator.
wondering if he just came in thinking we were dealing with the drainage thing at this
Yeah,
meeting.
Andrew, you had your neighbor here, he's already gone.
That's okay.
Okay.
Call me next week.
What? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, we just want to make sure, that's all.
No, I'm good.
Appoint a 911 coordinator.
Chief Ginther has nominated himself and is just looking for an appointment from the Select Board.
I make a motion to accept the fire chief's recommendation of the fire chief, Paul Ginther, to be the 911 coordinator.
Second.
Any reason not to?
This is the
I
same
know.
where we went through with the last...
It's just a
Yeah,
question.
yeah. No, I mean, but it's the same, the fire, and then he can appoint people as they work underneath him to go out and
So,
check.
all in favor of
Paul Ginther.
Chief Ginther being 911 coordinator, please say aye.
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 And we got a letter from Jennifer recommending Rob Hecker on the Planning Commission member.
So first, I'm going to make a motion to accept Young's resignation, okay? So, get a second?
Second on that.
All in favor?
And we should thank him for his years of
Yeah.
service at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did a couple terms for us.
And I don't know if Young is staying on as our transportation person.
He hasn't said anything to this
Oh,
point.
yeah, I would think he's resigning from that.
That's at night, so I don't know if we can ask him if he was also...
He was the, he was on the transportation committee.
Okay.
But let's move into this next one.
Okay.
I would make a motion that we accept Jennifer's recommendation. The Heckers are a great family. They moved to town, and he's a knowledgeable man, too. So
I'll second Rob Hecker.
Okay. All in favor of the nomination of Rob Hecker for Planning Commission, please say aye.
Aye.
Local Emergency Management Plan adoption.
If there's no explanation needed, I'm just seeking a motion from the board to
Did you read
approve
this?
I've looked over it quite a few times, so I'm just looking for a motion from the board to approve the Local Emergency Management Plan for 2023, also known as the LEMP, along with NIMS, which is just the way that we communicate, just a streamlined way to communicate in line with federal guidelines.
It's revised from when Chris Lahart left. He was LEMP when we
Right.
did this a while ago.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to accept the Local Emergency Management Plan, Municipal Adoption Form 2023. Michael Ramsey, I believe, is the EMD name, and Paul Ginther will be the POC second name, and POC third name is Whit Montgomery as the police chief.
second?
In favor?
Aye. Then
Do
I
you
will
need to
make
sign it, or
a...
does the board sign it?
So I've got a packet for the board to sign once we're settled.
Okay.
So I've signed my copy.
And I'm also going to make a motion to adopt the NIMS document for the town of Killington, and that is is that a call-in or something, or what is NIMS?
NIMS is just the way that we communicate. It's just making sure that the town of Killington is in line with federal guidelines to communicate emergency management
Short for
direction.
National Incident Management System.
Okay, and then we're making a motion to appoint the town manager? Is that because your name is on here? Michael Ramsey at this time.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. So since we just did that, I just have a question. Like, in the past, we never really, like we don't say Peggy, you're not hasten to go for, we say, and I remember always saying, like, the town manager, the fire chief, so we wouldn't have to...
You're appointing the person.
Okay.
Do you know, is that something I'm supposed to sign
Oh,
on the bottom? No, your
I'll
name
get you
is
a
on
copy.
it,
I'll
but there's
get you a
another
copy.
section below it.
Yeah, you're...
It says printed name of select board or council
Remember,
member.
yeah, so you'll sign that out, attesting him.
So I'll make a motion for the Chair, Steve Finneran, to sign the LEMP municipal adoption form.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Tax bills, errors, and omissions. We have a submittal from the listers.
Just that out.
So I only know about this because I spoke to, or Pat Lindemeyer called me in. So we've got 3 span numbers, 13895 from $133,473 to 0. Span number 12763 from $32,608 to 0. And span number 12764 from $40,003 to $0. And the reason why this is an errors is omissions is because in the top, you'll see that it's already accounted for in span number 12761. So all those figures were up in 12761, and for some reason, they continued them on a second time underneath these three. So the funds are still being collected based off of those numbers in span 12761. So I will make a motion for us to individually sign in our spot to accept the errors and omissions from the listers for Green Mountain Power Corp.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
You're up, bond anticipation.
Don't update it.
I believe this was a discussion item at the last meeting. Am I correct about that?
It's been a couple of meetings we've been
Okay.
talking about it.
Okay, so tonight what the town of Killington is looking for is just a motion from the board to adopt the resolution for the $8.4 million bond anticipation note for the improvements for the Killington Tax Increment Financing District as presented to the board. I do have, the promissory note needs to be edited. They had the wrong date on it, but we have certificates that need to be signed after the meeting. What I've been advised from council is just the most important thing that we do tonight is just to make the adoption.
So I'm going to make a motion to adopt the bond anticipation note certificate and resolution for TIF Phase 1 of $8.4 million, and I'm going to refer back to the July 24, 2022 Select Board meeting minutes that we've already approved. Item number 11, bond anticipation note, 8.4 million TIF. The bond anticipation note was planned for $8.4 million. The bond anticipation will be the bridge loan that the town will use until March when permanent financing becomes available. Town Manager Hagenberth received 2 proposals from Mascoma Bank. The Select Board discussed the options. Select Board have made a motion to move forward with the $8.4 million bond anticipation note at 4.99% for 1 year. It was unanimously approved. So I'm asking us just to follow up with another approval and a set of signatures this time.
And nothing has changed from that date, right?
Nope.
And the other piece is the tax exempt certificate and the resolution.
So I've got, what needs to be signed by the board ultimately is the tax certificate and the resolution and certificate of tax increment financing district, as well as a amended promissory note, but I'll have that to you.
Okay.
So right now, I'm approving the bond anticipation note certificate and resolution for TIF Phase 1 and the updated, what did you just say?
Resolution, certificate of...
Resolution certificate, okay? That's what the motion's on the floor.
Second.
Okay. Anything further? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We're not doing golf course tonight, so...
There is a document in here, and I wanted to hit up on.
It's about the AJGA.
Yeah.
And it's
Where did this come from? Who produced it?
golf course?
That was forwarded
Or
to me
AJGA.
by a representative from AJGA.
So,
Patrick Plank.
So I believe what happened here was there was an email that was going around, and somehow it got to Amy Laramie at the resort, saying for them to approve or whatever, to go forward with the AJGA events. And then I got the email forwarded to me from Amy, and she's like, this normally doesn't come from AJGA to her. It comes through the town or whatever. I think you had a conversation with
Yeah, I told them.
AJGA, and then you had told them,
I just said the town is open to the conversation, but they're supposed to give us all this stuff before they move forward.
and then I just relayed that information back to this person from AJGA. Was it a Peter?
Patrick Plank, I believe.
Yeah, okay, Patrick Plank. And this is what he came up with. I was kind of looking for, like, I think in that contract it says, where do they stay? If you go to the contract or whatever. I mean, this is great. It's showing us that 20 states were representative, 132 people were on the field. It brought 443 new visitors, and net visitors, and 8 countries were represented. Then it says the 2023 economic impact, and it goes on. And, you know, I have other questions to ask about this, but this is really a contract conversation, correct? So I will say that we move this into executive session just to have the conversation. I think what we've done is we talk about it, and then we invite the golf course, and then we invite the golf course and the resort.
So, I agree with executive session, but do we want to table it until David could be here to discuss it with us? Because he's not available tonight.
Right.
It's just
I
a
think there's
question.
I think we should go into executive session, discuss potential contract with them, that's all. And I think
Maybe we
after
should
that-
go in tonight, executive session at some point, and then get our questions so we can get them to the manager to get to David, so he's prepared.
Yeah.
Instead of him saying at the next meeting, I gotta get you the answer. You know?
Yeah,
so-
that's how I'm looking at it.
That's my question.
Yeah, so I'm gonna move the conversation on the contracts in executive session. Second it?
Second, sorry.
Oh, all in favor of moving to executive session, please say aye.
Aye. And that is after the end of this. We're zipping through.
I know.
Manager's report?
So, really quickly, it's just been a very steep learning curve, but it's made for a very fun week. So, you know, we've got big news moving forward on the Killington Forward Initiative. We've been working with the USDA on potentially securing a loan to fund some of the project in the TIF area. The town purchased a new town hall, so, you know, that was pretty exciting thing to do on my second day of work. We're gonna meet this week with an architect to kind of go over what the layout of the upstairs of the building might be. Lucretia, the clerk, pretty much has her portion of it planned out very well, actually. Human resources onboarding, I've been doing that with Mona. And then the town is also hosting interviews for the finance director position. We had about 12 applicants, and 5 of them are very well qualified. So we start that process tomorrow. The planning director job description has been created, and the plan is to have that posted this week. And then soon, I know there's been communication already set up through Chet and his department heads, but I'll probably start having semi-monthly meetings with director heads, just so we're kind of all on the same page with what's happening throughout town. I serve as I guess I kind of serve as the chief financial officer, so just to calm everyone's nerves, I'm pretty proficient on NIMRIC. I just have to kind of get up to speed on the project costs and timelines, but you guys have been really helpful with all that. I think I'll get there eventually. And then FEMA is also another big ticket item, but Chet and I have a meeting with so the town submitted their RPA, which is a request for public assistance that was necessary to receive the funding. And since we submitted that RPA, we've been assigned a project manager through FEMA. We meet up with him this week. And aside from that, we had a get-together after hours at Casey's Caboose with Green Mountain Lawyers. It was just our grand opening mixer. And that pretty much concludes my manager's report. I'm sorry if that was a bit fast. I'm going to be scripted here for the next 3 or 4 months, I think. But if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to attempt to answer them. Okay.
We're not afraid to ask.
Good.
So the next thing up we have here, so we can keep on going, is the hearing, but that's at 7 PM, and it has to be at 7 PM because it's been warned. So I guess we jump to number 16 right now, and any questions from the public?
And we know you can't see us, but do you have any questions that we didn't cover?
What's underneath more, one?
I think that's the one you threw.
Is that the one they put in the waiting room?
One chat item.
Oh,
Black screen
Yeah.
warning.
Nope,
That
we
was
can't.
Jan. No, we
Answer's
can't
no,
see
we can't see
anything.
anything either.
Yeah.
we can't either,
We
yeah.
can't see either.
Okay.
So, any questions from anybody on the Zoom call? Ryan, it looks like you're unmuted. Are you ready to ask a question? Ryan?
Doesn't look like it.
No? Okay. Eli, Jerry, Jan, or Jim, got any questions? No?
I have a question that came from a couple
No, we're
different
good.
people, which either goes there, it's not really other business. The question has to do with starting work on the bottom of the access road. Is it this summer, and if so, when?
We have tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock a bond signing with Markowski Group,
Okay?
and we'll have answers probably by the next meeting.
Okay.
So,
No, I've had 3 or 4 people ask, because,
yeah.
and it has to do with the whole TIF thing. When are you going to start moving water? When are you going to start doing this?
So we had the meeting with Casella Group, when? This,
That was like a week and a half, 2 weeks
a
ago.
week, 2 weeks ago to move forward, okay, to proceed. They signed all the documents to proceed, and I believe they're saying they're gonna start coming in and taking down trees along the water line in October, and then keep on moving forward from there. So they'll start seeing some stuff in October going on there.
Out of our meeting this afternoon, we discussed getting together and having a little more public outlay of what's going on, as we're starting to put a shovel in the ground.
One of them was someone thought the landslide on Route 4 was where they had cleared to put the pump houses.
That
Well,
makes
that's
sense.
okay, because the work that's been scheduled by the state on Route 4 by Spring Hill Road is the water line from multiple people. It has nothing to do, that is a culvert that's been how long in the States?
Actually, it was delayed 3 years, so it's been in design for 5.
And that's a big cement box.
Yeah,
That's a big box
Not a
culvert.
culvert. It's huge.
yeah, but it's also not a water line.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
So that's not there.
Okay.
And, you know, it's just, we have a lot of stuff that's going on. I mean, we had a bond vote in March, since we have time here, a bond vote in March, that the total project was some 52 point something million dollars.
Yep.
We had $5.9 million in, funds between ARPA and SRF that were, what do you want, what do they call them back? Non-payable?
Yeah, they're forgivable loans.
Forgivable loans, which brought us down to a $47 million bond vote that the voters approved. Since then, we have been given a $1 million, $1 million CRRP grant for water, not payable back. And then we're told through ARPA, there's this additional $4 million to the water. And then in the state revolving fund, SRF fund, which is the water, we're told there's around another $7 or $8 million that's in an IUP process right
forgivable
now,
side, right.
which is on the forgivable side. So with the $6 million that we almost had prior, we're close to $21 million in forgivable loans on this 47, so that will come down. And then we have Lisa Davis Lewis had put in for a catalyst grant that we should be hearing back that we put into.
We're in the final group.
It's pending, we're in the final group. We put in for $3 million, okay? And we should be hearing back on that. That would be $2 million for road, $1 million for water. And as we opened up the meeting, Michael, I think, spoke in, or whatever in here, the USDA, we finalized the paperwork for some 394, $18,394,000 loan at 30 years at 3.625%. I want to make sure everybody here is 3.625%, because I know everyone was scared that when we went into this, that with the rates going up, we'd be over 5 or 6%. We're in the final stages of that. We should hopefully hear back on that in a couple of weeks or whatever.
Yeah, in addition, that's a not to exceed number. If the rates go down, our rate will go down.
If the rates ever go lower than 3.625 again, we can...
In our lifetime.
We can...
Find another project.
We can get a lower rate. But, so there's a lot of stuff going on when people are asking. It's probably within the next 3 weeks that we'll have this meeting that Chris is talking about for.
I've always said, I just want to have the right answer.
Yeah.
Oh, agree. And
you know.
you should, like, with what you're dealing with up there too, so that you can answer the proper questions and everything else. So it'd be helpful to everything.
You know, tomorrow, Michael Ramsey, myself, Lisa Davis Lewis, Jennifer and Tony are going, because it's zoning and planning, going to the Grand Hotel to meet up with Act 250 and the developer to go through some presentation that the developer is putting. So things are moving along. It's just a matter of a couple of weeks. Hopefully we can say we got $18 million loan. Hopefully we can say we got the other $15 million or whatever, 14, 13, whatever it is, of IUP money. And
Even SRF looked like it kind of broke loose a little bit today, like they were moving.
yeah, so we're getting there.
All right, do we want to go to executive session before the 7 o'clock meeting?
Yeah.
Probably should.
Yeah, well, we're gonna,
Question
Should
over
go down
here?
the hall there.
Yeah, it's just about what you're saying with the big culvert, or not even culvert, whatever they're putting in there.
Box culvert, yeah.
The box culvert. Are they planning to re-straighten out the road there, or is it gonna be like just widen? Because when you come down, there's a little curve, right?
Well, that's all temporary construction. The road will be back to its original alignment.
Okay, because they made that
They had to
road
take
nice.
half of it to do that, because, and the reason it's a box culvert is that got to be a qualified stream as far as A&Rs going, so they had to have a certain width.
Yeah, no, because I was surprised when they paved it and painted it and did everything to that.
Oh, no,
road
that's
up
all temporary.
So,
That's temporary.
If you look at the curve, if they didn't do it, there wouldn't be room for 2 cars to get around it.
there. Yeah,
So that's what it ended up being, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Okay,
all right, so I'm gonna make a motion at 6:18 to go into executive session,
okay.
for contracts
Contract.
discussion,
Yeah,
okay? We can go inside the other room.
We'll just go to the workroom.
yeah, okay.
Because we're not scheduled to come back until 7 o'clock anyway. Motion, well, not a motion, out of executive session at 6:51. No action taken.
Right. Well, I can get all these out of the way.
It is now 6:51 still. We need to wait until 7 o'clock in order to open up the
Public hearing.
public hearing. Is it a public hearing, Lisa?
Yes, it's a public hearing.
For the proposed readoption of Killington Town Plan. So we gotta wait till 7 o'clock.
There's a bunch of those that need to be signed.
Number 15, I'm gonna open up the public hearing at 7 o'clock for the proposed readoption of the Killington Town Plan. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's under discussion.
All in favor? Aye.
Made a motion, that opened it.
Okay,
The vote is whether we accept it or not.
okay.
So who's?
All right, so
someone
I'm just
presenting
gonna, I'm sorry, just learning the new procedure and everything, so,
it? We are too.
anyway, for everybody who hasn't met me yet, my name's Michael Ramsey, I'm the new town manager in Killington.
Is that Michael Ramsey?
Yeah, sir. Oh, cool. Yeah, I started Monday. It was an incredible week. I'm grateful to be here. But this time isn't set aside for me to do an introduction. What I'm really here to do is just say that the town's been working on an updated municipal plan for the last 6 months. I haven't been a part of any of that. So here's part of the brief where I hand it over to Lisa Davis, or the chair of the Planning Commission, to kind of explain what this proposed update includes.
I'll start out. My name is Jennifer Yanantoni. I'm chair of the Planning Commission. And actually, I think it's been longer than 6 months that we've been working on it, and it's closer to a year. And actually longer than a year that we've really been talking about prioritizing which parts needed updating. I would say that the municipal plan, which was, am I correct, Lisa, 8 years old?
Yep.
was very verbose, hard to navigate. There was just too much there. And we worked together. Lisa, kudos to Lisa, and a big thank you from the town and the Planning Commission for all of her work on it, along with Maggie from the Rutland Regional Planning Commission, who worked together to present the Planning Commission. Every 2 weeks, we first identified the chapters that needed to be updated and streamlined. I mean, the whole plan was, but there were chapters that really needed updating. And we really made it more action and goal-oriented as opposed to sort of just this narrative, like, I don't know, it just kind of was like, here's everything you've ever wanted to know about the town of Killington. That's not what these documents are meant to be. They're meant to be, what is the plan for our town? What do we want to do? What have we done? What do we want to do? And how are we going to achieve those goals through action items? And so I think what you'll see now is it's still would have liked it even a little shorter than it is, but it is shorter, it is easier to navigate, and I think it really incorporates, and I'm happy, honestly, that we're doing it now as opposed to 2 years ago, because quite frankly, this envisions a future with a village, with municipal water, with an updated Killington Road, and really addresses potential grants and funding mechanisms that we'll try to tap into over the next 8 years before we come up with our next town plan. And it really identifies those, and we'll make it, I think Lisa was really instrumental in being able to say, as I've worked on grants over the last 2 years, what are government and state agencies looking for? They're looking for a town plan that mentions X, Y, and Z, and we really tried to do that in this plan. So I'll let Lisa go through some of the details of it, but I really thank Lisa and Maggie from the Regional Planning Commission for their work on it, and the Planning Commission members who really every 2 weeks really bit into this, and we had robust discussions, and I'm very happy with what we have presented to the Select Board, and hope that you'll support this updated town plan.
So before Lisa kicks in, I sat in a couple of these meetings, and I think a lot of people get confused thinking the town plan is the Bible and you have to go by it.
The town plan is the vision, the zoning bylaws are the rules, but the vision for the town is found in the town plan. And so these are goals and aspirations, and the action items are also, more goal-oriented. The rules that you're talking about, sort of like the Bible by which the laws, those are found in the zoning bylaws. So those are two different instruments and two separate. We have done some piecemeal work on the zoning bylaws, addressing specific issues. And now once we are past this, hopefully at this meeting, but now we step right back in again at our next Planning Commission meeting, working on updating, specific zoning bylaws that we've identified.
So as an interim zoning administrator, because the other two board members have appointed me to be that position, if someone comes to me and says, this is the rules, it has to be in the zoning bylaws, don't come to me with the town plan.
No, that's
a vision.
Visionary piece. And, the other thing is it's helpful to remember the split that was done a couple of years ago. We now have a planning commission of which I am the chair, and then there is a DRB board. And really this town plan is that's the vision of the planning commission, and that's really, when we talk about what are our goals as a planning commission, we do look at the town plan for guidance there, but the DRB is really looking at the zoning bylaws and how, we put those in place. The planning commission writes those, but it's the DRB, it's the DRB's job to administer those zoning bylaws. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, I think the town plan is really the roadmap for the town. So the zoning is what's used to implement the roadmap, but the town is, the plan is the roadmap, it's the vision. I'm not going to go through chapter by chapter. I don't think anyone's that interested. I will just touch upon some of the broader goals. They're fairly general kind of goals, but I think we could all agree that these are goals that make sense for the town of Killington, or this is the vision that Killington should be a community that fosters adventure and play during all 4 seasons. Obviously, that was a big theme. This would be actually on page 4, Michael. This is a big theme, the 4 seasons, the tourist-based economy, but expanding that tourist-based economy beyond just the ski resort. Support full-time residents and tourists with a high quality of living, provide a buoyant economy with ample jobs at a fair and livable wage, preserve natural resources, scenic views, and historical knowledge, demonstrate energy resilience and environmental sustainability, encourage multiple modes of living, traveling, and learning, and engage in plan development that is thoughtful, efficient, and beneficial for current and future generations. Fairly general. I think it's goals or vision that everyone could embrace. From there, we really went through chapter.
My apologies. I'm still trying to figure all this out. Hang in there with me.
Peggy, we've added,
Done. I got it.
Hang in there with me. Okay. I think I was just sharing a picture of my dog with you.
Probably more interesting.
Yeah, I apologize.
So, just to kind of touch upon land use, in the previous town plan, we had a very, very detailed description of existing land use. This plan, we've streamlined it, focused on future land use. We're not really, Killington's largely built up, other than the ski village, so we're not really talking about any wholesale changes in land use, but one of the things we did talk about is because of the town hall moving down where the post office is, that we should seek town center designation for that area. So that is one of the goals that we've identified from a land use perspective. Natural resources, I mean, I think it's, preserve natural resources, but also where appropriate, use our natural resources to expand the tourist-based economy. We also talked about identifying important views and maybe hiring a consultant to undertake a view shed analysis for the town so that we have some consensus. I think we all know what views we like, but, when we talked about Planning Commission, there was a lot of different thoughts on what are important views. I'm just really running through this very quickly, so I hope everyone's okay with that. From housing, I think everyone understands that, recognizes that the town is and the state is facing a housing situation. We've talked about one of the goals that we've identified in our housing is to provide, to expand a blend of affordable housing opportunities and provide housing for all, a diverse population. And obviously some of the action items is the encourage the development of the Six Peaks Village, but it's also moving forward to identify and encourage the development of affordable housing. And I think everyone knows that the town is moving forward in that area. We've also, one of our goals is to gather some more detailed information on the housing situation so that the Planning Commission and the town really has a little bit better understanding of how the changes that, COVID and the short-term rental policies have really brought onto the town and how we respond to that. So this is really information gathering to help us kind of make some decisions going forward. Recreation, I think we looked at recreation really twofold. One is recreation as a tourist-based economy. What can we do to continue to grow our economy, and that's, expanding mountain bike trails, expanding hiking trails, kayaking, canoeing. But then on the flip side, we also looked at recreation as a very important component of quality of life for the people that live in the town of Killington, and how we could support that. And, some of the action items we've identified is getting a new pool, improving the recreation center, converting the existing town hall into a recreation facility. So that's looking at recreation really for our residents, providing better space for our summer camps, and then there's the kind of the recreation that I mentioned for the economic development, which is mountain bike, and as well for residents, certainly, but expanding the mountain biking, hiking, and really promoting our tourist-based economy. So that's a 5-minute analysis of one thing that our plan we didn't have time to do was to do what is known as an enhanced energy plan, and that's a recommendation that actually the town or the planning commission hire a consultant to undertake an enhanced energy study plan. And the reason why it's important to do that is right now we don't have a whole lot of control with the public utility. If somebody comes in and wants to propose a solar or a wind turbine, and if the town had an enhanced energy plan, we'd actually potentially have a little more control over the siting of those facilities. So that's one of the, we didn't have time to complete it given where we weren't having to get this done, but that's one of the recommendations going forward that we should do. We also made several recommendations regarding some changes to zoning, and those are all kind of identified. As we move forward, we're going to talk about how we want to implement the town plan, because the town plan's only as good as it gets implemented. And so hopefully 8 years from now, when somebody's sitting in this seat and talking about the new town plan, they can look back at the old town plan and say, they accomplished a lot of that plan, they've implemented it. So, the goal is so that this doesn't just sit on the shelf, but it actually is a roadmap that we use to implement what we want to see.
Lisa, just to confirm so everybody understands, this enhanced energy plan, we can do that standalone from this. Like, this town plan can be adopted,
Correct.
and then that can be a standalone document that we'll have Rutland Regional Planning Commission help us with that.
We'll probably have them do it, yeah.
So that, we'll, and with input from the Planning Commission and certainly from townsfolk to
Right.
what are our goals? Where would we want these types of things cited? And it's really this forward thinking, so that we're not on our heels when there is a project and we're like, oh, we don't know where we'd want something like this. Like, let's pick out some places where we'd want something like this, should it happen.
And also, I think that there's, at a UVM, there are consultants that do the view shed analysis, because what we want to do is really identify those views that we think are important, and we would not want to see them impacted by some sort of facility. And so I think that's really, and again, there's no guarantee, because the Public Utility Commission does really exercise pretty big control, but it certainly helps the town, gives them a leg to, guide where we'd want these facilities to be located.
So I sat in on a bunch of the meetings, and, you've hit the affordable housing. The town has purchased, back on July 14th, or the 7th? 7th. The 7th, 70 acres on Nonick Way, which goes into the Killington Forward. So we've taken that step. Now we've got to bring the water line down the road or whatever, obviously. So first step is we're taking the water from behind on Route 4 and the flats up and over, and we've signed the contract with Casella to move forward, proceed, and they're gonna start doing their work, I believe, the first week of October, to get the water line up and over in 700, so two years.
720 days, just shy of 2 years.
720 days, the water line should be to the Ravine Road area off the Killington Road. We are going to put out to bid for, from the lookout, for the town to redo the road from the lookout up to a roundabout and then over to the Grand Hotel, because we don't own that road at this point, but we will. And then that is going out to bid in January or whatever.
Yeah, over the winter, so that we have like a July 1-ish start.
July 1 start on that. And then we'll be working over this winter on the next set of water, probably, or summer, from Ravine Road to Dean Hill Road.
No, this winter, what they're gonna put out in February is from East Mountain Road to the Ravine Road. That's contract 4.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
contract 4.
For the road.
For the water.
Water.
Yeah.
The 1A is the road portion.
Right.
And it's gonna start around
So
July.
from East Mountain Road to will be this winter.
But yeah, the goal is to get the design and the bid documents done by spring, so that in July, both of those projects are happening simultaneous for probably the next year.
Right, and then we move from Ravine.
To Dean Hill.
To Dean, and then Dean to West Hill, and then West Hill
To Anthony.
to Anthony. And this year, we're signing a contract or the bond agreement tomorrow with.
Phase 1B.
With Markowski for 1B, which is the road from Route 4 to Anthony Way with the dry line of the water going in, so the
Correct.
piping. So when we bring it from West Hill to Anthony Way, there'll be the connection there. So we're looking at water up and down the Killington Road, 6 years total?
I think it's the outside 6 years, yeah.
Outside 6 years. And then from there, we're looking to go from Route 4, from Killington Road
To the bottom of the pass.
west to the bottom of the pass, so by like ERA. And then in the plan, you're also talking about a town center or a village center? I forget which one.
Town center.
Town center. And the town purchasing last Monday, the formal, well, it's still the post office, but all the excess space, the town moving there, which is starting Devon at Rutland Regional, because V-Trans is interested in the town taking that area kind of over as a town center, so we can lower the speed limit and stuff along Route 4 down there.
And add all the pedestrian and other features
And
that
then all of
slow the traffic.
So if you look back in 2012, if you go to Selectboard minute meetings, if you go to Selectboard and you scroll all the ways down at the bottom of the minutes, there will be this, it's the Killington Gateway project that was done in 2012.
She also moved it into the planning commission.
Okay, and, yeah.
Studies now, if you.
So Planning Commission and Studies, and it will show you what the idea of the Killington Gateway was back there as far as sidewalks and stuff going through. So those are a couple of the things that are in this plan that you have hit on, okay? And then some of the others that you have hit on, I mean, you know, the housing we talked about, and that part there, and the water is big and everything else. But we've also, in your zoning, to get the housing thing kick-started also, we've made some or you guys made changes in planning to the zoning bylaws for the Killington Road to make the setback from 50 feet down to 15 feet, the front and the side, still 25 on the rear, to try to encourage this streetscape sidewalk. And you also made some changes to change
Densities.
the density along the Killington Road or whatever, to try to
Encourage housing.
encourage housing or whatever. And the state of Vermont has adopted something with water and sewer.
Well, what they did when they
Home Act.
passed the rules is they
Home
said that, yeah, you can't preclude, even if you have zoning and things like that, if you have both water and sewer, from being able to multiply in a 1 acre zone, say, up to an 8-unit building, so that you can have, it was 8 plexes if you had both for an acre, if I remember right.
No,
It was at least 4, it was 4 if you had sewer.
It came out as 5.
They finished at 5?
5, yeah.
So it's basically increasing, if you have the utilities, you can increase the density by quite a bit.
So here's my question on that rule or whatever, even though we're doing the planning. We've increased the density in the town plan and through zoning on that. There's also something that says like 10,000 square feet, whatever, for a unit.
Right.
So there's an acre in zoning, I learned today on planning, that's why it's 40,000 instead of 42, whatever, okay? So is it true that you can put 4 separate houses if you have the setbacks and everything, or is it 1 unit that can have 5?
I believe the original intent was the 1 unit to have 5, but I don't know how it finished.
Yeah, when I took a look at, I think that when we, as the town, changed our zoning, the intent was 1 unit with, I think we did it with 4, not 5, but it's certainly not clear in our zoning, so we're gonna, but when I looked at the Home Act that the state passed, it looks like it could go either way, but that's certainly something that we need to reach out to the State Department of Community Development for some clarification. They just, this just got signed into law in
And I'm just sitting as an
July, so-
interim zoning.
I know.
And I have to go by what the book says, and I want clarifications, because it is part of the town plan.
Correct.
So we're going from
For the
there.
zoning, yeah.
But I'm gonna, if you two have any questions, I mean, I think they did a great job, they met here a lot, but
Right now,
so then, anybody in the audience have a question?
we can't tell if there's anyone on the screen.
How about road maintenance?
Oh,
As far as what, sir?
Money.
As far as road maintenance, in which way?
Money.
Wolfville Road.
Old Mill Road?
Wolf Hill.
Wolf Hill Road. So there's not...
Off the River Road.
Right, I know where when you said Wolf, okay. This is like I said in the beginning after Jennifer made the presentation, this is some vision, it's not zoomed into, we're going to spend X amount of money on Wolf Hill Road or on Weather Vane Road for me, okay? It's not that. Those discussions start up in the budget process, which usually starts in September, which is only a few weeks away. So those are the meetings that you want to get to, of saying, or writing to town manager at killingtontown.com.
That's what he has.
And put in and saying, you're looking at what is the plan?
Because they don't even bother to dig out the ditches
Yeah,
on Wolfville Road.
okay,
And it's dangerous.
okay. So the new town manager, I think, has already wrote that down, and probably before the week is,
I have a letter here.
oh, you got a letter for him. So before the week is over, I'm sure Michael will be finding Wolf Hill Road is on the right-hand side, I believe, of River Road, heading towards the golf course.
Depends which way you're going.
I said heading towards the golf course from town, I said heading to the golf course from town hall,
Take Ricky with you.
and take a look at it, okay?
Well, we have a new director of public works.
Right, well then,
Might be most
And the
suitable
issue-
for that, but I'll definitely take the letter and read
It's
it.
part-
we're not here
It's a
for...
class 3 and class 4 road.
Yeah,
It's
but
a
we're
mix.
not here to, so right now, what we're here for is this town plan. Unfortunately, Wolf Hill Road is not on the agenda tonight.
I know it, but I'd like to have somebody come over and look at it.
All right, they're gonna come.
They're gonna, they will be there,
Yep.
okay?
Definitely.
So, especially when you give them the letter. It's in
I
writing,
even had it plowed in the wintertime,
okay?
because people live up there.
Yeah. So we will take that discussion after you read his letter, and then you'll take it with the Public Works and Ricky and take it from there, okay? So Debbie, you're here, you have any questions on the town plan?
No, just listening and
Okay,
taking it all in.
And like,
okay,
I own a big parcel on Killington Road.
right,
And, I want to make sure that it's treated the way it should be.
Okay. I mean, treat it as it should be. The plan doesn't really, it's the zoning regulations would change.
It's not parcel specific.
It's not parcel specific, so the whole road has everything equally. There's 15-foot setbacks from the front, 15-foot setbacks from the sides on the Killington Road right now, being commercial or commercial business, but that's not in the town plan, that's in the zoning requirements, and 25 feet on the back. But once again, that's in zoning, not the town plan. You have any questions?
I was just making sure I wrote down the stuff for you.
Andrew?
I have a question. So I own over 1,000 feet on Killington Road, and with the road becoming wider, and I just saw that picture of 2 lanes this way, 11 feet each, and then 3 feet side pieces and the walkways. So I measured with a tape measure, and it comes up that we will need to approach into properties at least 20 feet. That's what I got from measuring, looking at the...
So once again, this is a town plan. You're bringing up a question that has nothing to do with the town plan, okay? We have not designed the road. I'm gonna answer your question anyway, but we haven't designed the road. We have to move, we have a surveyor that's going out to survey the road. I don't know if we have a right-of-way, which may be 6 to 8 to 10 feet, what you think is your property, we have that right-of-way.
Yes, so even in the future, I mean, I totally see it, that we're gonna be asking people to chip in or something, buy them out, because we want to make it wider according to the plan.
Well, so once again, the town plan is not the Bible. I mentioned that in the first place. So if someone's sitting here and we say, we need 5 feet or 6 feet that's not in the town right away, and you sit there and go, well, I'll sell it out. I mean, that's a different process or whatever, and it may come to that it's not affordable for us to do it, okay? And we may shorten it. We haven't come together with the plan for the road. You're looking at a concept.
You do have a concept to create a...
But we don't know if the concept fits until the surveying, everything is done. So, I own property along the Killington Road too, all right? But it's not the place for the town plan to come into. Any other questions, or is that it? Vince, Ryan, or Noreen? Any questions?
No.
None for me.
Ryan? You're muted, Ryan. I'll take it that you don't have a question? Linda, you work for us. Do you have a question? Okay.
Thank you.
So, with that all being said, I'm going to make a motion to adopt.
We'll close the hearing first.
I'm going to make a motion to close the hearing, the public hearing.
And actually, technically, I think we're supposed to adopt that at a subsequent meeting.
Okay.
So today, you could either keep the hearing open or vote to close the public hearing.
Right. I would like to make a motion to close the public hearing for the proposed readoption of the Killington Town Plan.
I would second that.
Yeah, and I don't see anybody else raising a hand, so all in favor of closing the hearing, please say aye.
Aye. So now it comes back again, and that's when we would...
At the next meeting, you could just put it on for
The
adoption.
agenda for adoption. Okay. So, that being said, there's open public comment for the second time. Is there anything else that doesn't have anything to do with the public hearing? Not Wolf Hill Road again. Not selling your property for a town right away. Is there anything else there in the public? No? Anything else on the Zoom link? Hearing none. Other business, anything, Michael?
I don't have any other business.
Okay, and then executive session if needed. Did you want to go into, for personnel, to get an update from?
Yeah, I would like to get a few more things updated. I think that'd be great.
Okay. So, I'll make a motion to go into executive session with the town manager. And, there's not going to be anything, no action taken, so there's no need to. So, I wouldn't end the meeting.